From going live to live, just like that, the magic of Google Hangouts, Attack of the Androids, right here. You know, after 136 of these, like you just kind of run out of stuff to say. You like just say the same thing.
We're back.
I want to let
I've
you guys.
never
I'm right at the precipice.
never repeated myself. Get your shit together, Matt.
We'll make it a goal
God.
to never repeat myself. Because the
Lock it
internet will
down.
tell you. You may not remember. The internet will remember, and they'll be like, we've heard this story. Next.
Yeah, they might. Have you guys heard of Republic Wireless?
Okay, ready?
Yeah, go.
For centuries, we've been warned about little green men. Now, they are coming. They're coming for you. Prepare for the attack of the Android.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? This is Tuesday, October 14th, 2014, episode 137 of Attack the Androids. Every Tuesday, usually, right here, attacktheandroids.com. Check it out. I'm Matt Lee. That's Eric. What's up, Eric?
Not much, buddy. Welcome back.
Welcome back to you as well. Also, a big welcome back, Nick Carroll. Good to see you awake at this day and hour.
Yes. Well, I'm glad to be back. Thanks, guys.
New job. Are you getting used to your new hours there
Yeah,
at
it's
your old job?
yeah. Sometimes I'll come in as early as like 11:30 p.m. Sometimes it's 1 a.m. or even 4 a.m. It just depends. But now it's kind of stabilized to 4 a.m. So it's getting better.
That's nice. That's I believe the witching hour. Or no, wait, that's midnight. Never mind.
Too late / too
Good.
early.
Eric, you want to start things off with a little bit of my favorite, as I know it is your favorite, patent issue.
Oh, God. Yes,
What do we need
I
to
would be
know,
happy to.
Eric? What do we need to know about Google and Oracle and Android and this awesome Rock'em Sock'em robot graphic?
If anybody has been listening to this show for a very long time, you might remember back in 2012, Matt and I even did some specials, some AotA specials, where we talked about the Oracle versus Google case in great detail. So you can also go back and listen to those because it'll probably be, more accurate and more fresh than it is in my mind now. Yeah, look at the robots. The long and short of it is that you have Oracle suing Google. They are saying that APIs can be copyrighted. Google had, with Android, there's a lot of the same. What am I trying to say? Like function names, calls, things like that that match up with Java. And they did that to make it easier for Java developers. Google is saying that, well, all languages have, these same functions, the names. It's the implementation that matters. So if I have a function that, I give it a picture and it, changes it into a string of text or something, it doesn't matter that I have something that's called picture to string. It matters how I do it. So that's the main issue, and the reason it's coming up again is because Google won the initial ruling with Judge Aslop. Then Oracle won the appeal, and now we're waiting to see if the Supreme Court is going to weigh in or if they're going to let the appeal, the appeals ruling stand.
So this is kind of like a game. Kind of. They tied it up, right? And now it's going into like triple overtime.
We're in sudden death.
Sudden
right now.
death, if you will. How exciting, right? Are lawyers like around the globe just watching this and like Like, this is going to be one for the textbooks, guys. This is what it's all about.
I think they're just like
Frivolous.
depressed that they're not the ones that are representing Google or Oracle, because there's money to be made, my friends.
That is true. We're in
This
the
is-
wrong business. You know where there's not money to be made? Podcasting. About
There's not.
Now, if you can get some litigation going, big bucks. Payday.
This is one of those. This is, I was really happy when Google won the initial ruling. It's one of those court cases that could have like widespread implications. I wouldn't consider myself to be a legal expert at all, but there you can. We had a lot of really good resources when it came to this, like Grok Law, which has since shut down, but I think that that research is still available on their site. This was not a simple case, and it was very surprising that the initial judge ruled the way he did, because he basically learned how to program during the course of the trial. I think it goes to show that once you actually understand what it is being argued, the answer is pretty cut and dry.
Wasn't Oracle or the lawyers essentially arguing that Android is based on their work, therefore they should get, money for it? Essentially, is that essentially it? I haven't followed it as much as you guys, but I'm aware it's a big case.
Yeah, they're basically saying that Google copied 37 Java packages, and there's also another like side piece which I could see the argument there, and I think it was how it had something to do with how a number was handled, where it looks like a former Sun employee just copied the code. But in looking at it, even the judge in the initial case looked at the code that was copied and said that I think he said like he could be inclined to rule in Oracle's favor in that regard, but that it was very, very simple code, something that he, who had just learned how to program, could have come up with. So what is the real monetary value of something that's that simple?
Yeah, I think it's kind of ironic that I don't know if it's Google or the OEMs that are paying Microsoft, like the graphical user interface design of Android is maybe somewhat like Microsoft. I'm not sure of all the details on that, but I was certain that I've heard over time that like some OEMs or maybe Google pays a license to Microsoft for something related. So I was wondering if that's essentially what Oracle was aiming for, or something broader. I don't know.
I have to think that is what they're going for. When Oracle bought Sun, I get the impression that they thought that Java, because it was so widespread, was going to be a bigger payday than it was. The problem is, though, that Sun did so many things to open source to make Java available, and even went as far, during the trial, the former CEO of Sun even testified on Google's behalf. So I think Oracle's just pissed that they paid so much basically for Java. Solaris matters, but they basically paid so much for Java, and that they're not getting the huge payday out of it that they thought they were going to.
Eric, is it true that their huge payday came from McAfee ads, and everyone has actually gotten the wiser and unchecks that box now if they are still installing Java?
Yes, Matt, I think that is 100% true.
And so that took a big chunk out. So now they're just pretty much playing catch-up at this point.
Wait, hold on, sorry. Apparently I need to update Java. Hold on.
And
there's no update available.
I need to update my McAfee as well. Well, I would say interesting, although it's probably not, unless you're like a lawyer.
Well, I think it's interesting. I'm a nerd. Maybe most people don't find it interesting. I think the whole concept is interesting. What is actually able to be copywritten? What is copyrightable?
I guess I'm just like, if you just look at the overall, like, it's just a greed move, really. It's just an ugly, greedy thing that humans like to do. So, I mean, I guess you got to make a business and everything, but like, that's
Yeah.
that's your stick. Like, I don't know. It seems for like silly.
I don't blame Oracle for wanting to get the most out of their investments. It's a
No,
necessary
you gotta try.
thing.
If I could hire a lawyer, if I could afford a lawyer, I would go after Google. Why not?
But I think
You
this
might
is
just-
I think this is fundamentally wrong, and that if they really thought about what the long-standing repercussions, even to them, would be,
Right.
they probably wouldn't be so gung ho about this, because God only knows like what implications there are with other things they hold like Solaris. Are they infringing on some other older thing that has to do with IBM or something? And Nick,
Yeah.
you posted. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say I just posted a link in the rundown and in chat just to kind of indicate. I'd seen articles like this before. This is from ZDNet, and they're talking about how Microsoft may be making as much as $8 per Android device that has Android installed. That they've been making millions of dollars a year from Android since 2011, and these profits come from patent licenses. And I don't recall exactly who pays, but it seems kind of interesting that in order to not be sued, people are essentially paying Microsoft, a fair amount of money, even though they're using Android as the operating system. So I found that kind of dynamic interesting. So.
Are they making more from that than they are selling Windows phones?
Probably, I would imagine.
And I also, do you think that if who is it? Who makes Java? Oracle. Do you think if Oracle took as much money as they're spending on this lawsuit and put it into making Java like not full of security vulnerabilities and what have you?
Yeah, that's kind of ironic how flawed Java apparently is, So.
Just seems like there could be better. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not a CEO, obviously, but seems like there could be better use of resources focused in other places there.
Nick, I don't know about your work, but in previous places that I've worked at, there was a huge push to not use Java because of the security vulnerabilities. So
yeah,
I mean, Matt, you're snarky, but you're right.
No, my business runs on Java and Flash. my whole back-end infrastructure that runs attackoftheandroids.com. That's all Java and Flash. You
love to live dangerously. I got it.
Right.
On Windows 98 SE, because we don't skimp on that S and E.
That's right.
I had ME, but it wouldn't work with my chipset, so I had to go back to SE.
That's right. Roll it back.
Roll it on
Took the
back.
RAM chipped out.
Right?
Too much.
Let's talk about some leaks. This is getting exciting, is it not? Nexus is neck size, 6s and 9s, and oh my. Do we have new lawn ornaments yet? Has Richard, our friend Richard Hayes, sent us a text? An SMS? Has he sent us a Google Voice MMS?
He has
Yeah.
he has not, but you're on point, Richard. Don't you dare screw us.
That's
I
right.
want pictures. I want you
Everything.
hugging the lawn ornament.
Yeah, they're apparently setting up space for the next big thing, I guess you might say. The next,
The last big thing was the next big thing.
Yeah.
Call this one also the next big thing.
The next big thing, yeah.
The
So
newest.
it's kind of bullcrap, but the guy who makes these lawn ornaments sent out was it like a tweet or something saying, if anybody wants to volunteer to help me repaint and touch up the statues because we have a new one coming. Then you look at it and I mean Jelly Bean does look like it's seen better days. Let's be
Are they
honest.
pretty haggard? Do they not keep up on that sort of thing?
They're sun washed.
Oh yeah, I bet they sit out in that desert heat all day. That UV. We should
I wouldn't call Northern California desert.
Well, pretty soon it's all going to be desert.
That's right. breaks off the United States and floats away.
But I mean, you should use UV treated paint, right? Special UV paint.
Yeah, you would think, but they spent all their money on the Oracle case, so they really don't have the cash for that.
Well, that's cool. So did people actually like go help retouch these things, or was he completely trolling?
I think he was just trolling.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of leaks and tidbits essentially from Google that, hey, something's coming tomorrow. A lot of the media have gotten wind of this, and the Google Plus and other streams are really just sort of laden with, Android Nexus 6 and 9 leaks at this point. So,
are they trending? Is this becoming trendy?
I would say so today, certainly. But yeah, it looks like tomorrow Google's going to announce. They're just going to announce it. Last year they didn't really do like a public announcement. They didn't do a big old press conference like Apple does, and this year it seems like they're skipping that as well. So.
That's good though, right? Because I feel like when companies get tied into doing that every year, then they have to do it every year, and if they don't come out with something like extravagant, everyone's like, oh, lackluster, poop, whatever, boo-hoo. Like, hey, when you have something cool and new to show us, and not just to show us, but that we can then give you money for, and not in 3 years, like tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, generally when you have a company like Google or any of these OEMs out there that make phones, when they have these big old events, that's also the same time they give these copies or versions of these, devices for all the media that are there to then go test and come out with reviews in short time, stuff like that. And, if you're not going to actually hold a big old event at some sort of big place where all the media can gather, then it maybe lessens that experience. So I'm not sure of all the details of what's going to happen tomorrow, but it looks like they're literally just going to just announce all the things and I guess not even have a video stream. I'm not really sure how that's going to work out. So
I think you could look in the past at previous showcases, if you will, and I think the more extravagant the display is, the more the phone just sucks, right? Like they're making up for this whatever crappy phone that they made with gimmickry, floppy gimmickry, and then they have this big extravagant show for it and everything, which builds the hype for it. But then when people actually finally do get it, they're like, yeah, this phone sucks.
Yeah, a lot of these phones come out, they usually have one signature spec and everything else is, maybe modest or something like that. Unless you're something like
exactly the same as every other one that's come out.
Yeah, pretty much. And the Nexus line is sort of built on that. It's usually, pretty decent CPU and specs, just horsepower essentially, but everything else, cameras, mediocre, the frame's not necessarily top-notch, stuff like that, but it's heavily or somewhat subsidized, so that there's its value proposition there. But other phones like, the Note, I guess, would be sort of an outlier. It's usually really good in all the things, from a screen to specs to all the other specs. So, but most of the other phones are usually pretty decent. Like the HTC One, really great speakers, but oh man, really low megapixel camera, and so stuff like that, yeah.
But they were ultra pixels, Nick.
Yes.
You're kidding. Those weren't just normal everyday pixels, Nick. They walk among us.
Not merely mega, but ultra.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're like the X-Men of pixels. If X-Men were pixels and humans were pixels, they're ultra pixels.
That's right. Very uncanny.
That's right. Ha ha ha. EvLeaks Nexus 6. You want to talk about this real quick? Anything we need?
Yeah, it looks like he's come out of retirement and briefly say, "Hey guys, here's a picture of it." Mic drop, walk away. So it looks like there's a pic of the Nexus 6 out there that he's managed to make us aware of, so that looks pretty cool. And like other leaks, it looks like a larger Moto X, a larger 2014 Moto X, so that's kind of cool.
It does, huh? That's, yeah. Cool. New devices right around the time my contract should be coming up.
Now, it seems, though, that we'll be able to pre-order them tomorrow, but they're not going to actually ship for a few weeks.
You know what we say about pre-orders, Eric? I can't say it on this show because it's not family friendly.
They never go through.
Well,
like mine.
Yeah.
Ever.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Oh, I guess we should talk about, since we mentioned it earlier a little bit, Google Voice update. Those of you, and I don't get this, but it's not the way I use Google Voice, but people are very excited that there's now MMS support, so you can send your pictures to each other through MMS.
I use it. I'm happy.
Do you really?
Yeah, because like my mom, she doesn't. I think she has internet, but I don't think she, has a lot of it on her phone. So if I want to send her a picture now, I just MMS, and it's easier for her to wrap her head around, and then she can MMS back to me.
So is it Hangouts then?
Mm-hmm.
You could always send pictures to each other in Hangouts.
Yeah, but the way that it's working now is because she's not using Hangouts. I am texting her from my Google Voice number, and then that is showing up as an MMS, as if I were just texting her from a regular phone.
Right. I was gonna say, I got my mom using Text Secure, and we just send secure MMSs.
That poor woman.
I know. She is loving her Chromebook. I'll tell you what. Loving.
Which one did you get?
I don't even remember, but she loves it. I want to say it's the Acer, but I'm not sure. It's been a while. So, well, that's cool. MMS support. Get your messages sent.
I will say the whole integration, though. I mentioned this a few shows back. The integration of Hangouts with your SMS with your Google Voice, that is confusing. Like,
cool, but confusing.
Go ahead.
It's not. I was gonna just say, it's not until it's encrypted. I'm not using it for my main communication.
I hear that.
I just like Text Secure's gotten like really good lately. Like the last couple updates, they've fixed a lot of like the MMS bugs. Apparently, MMS is such a kludgy cluster. It's just like a mess, right? It's just hard to get it to work. All the carriers and gateways and APNs and ASPCs and RESPCTs. It's a mess. So
yeah, I've got it installed on my phone, and even though I haven't been using it, I do notice from
time to time. Encrypted text messages. What are you doing?
I do notice that they have been updating it a fair bit, so that's pretty cool. It's not like one of these apps that comes out and then no updates, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was kind of worried at first because it'd been a while since it had gotten like a visual update, and we moved on to everything getting that kind of new look, and then when they finally did, and this was a while ago by now, but when they finally did, I was like, yes, I can keep using it and not feel stupid.
Yeah, the last thing you want is a security-oriented app that never updates.
But
it needs to look good.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I kind of like the look of Text Secure. I haven't looked at it in a long time. It's very Hangouts-like.
Yeah, it's very just Messenger-like, which I like because then I can tell my dumb friends that use Android, like, hey, just use this instead. It'll be better. And they've gotten it to the point that it's like all automatic, like the key exchanges and everything. It's really cool. Show.
Oh yeah, and one other thing that's been coming out is they leaked sort of a funny video. I think it's like 30 seconds or so, but it's like one of those college humor videos where it's like, what would Google do if it were a person? Well, this is like, a casting call for different potential, names for the next version of Android. We have like Lettuce Head of all things, and a bunch of other. Yeah.
I like lemon heads just because I like them.
Yeah. So it's pretty funny. There's a commercial out there for potential names, and I guess we're going to see another one of those videos leaked out tomorrow once it's announced. But it's pretty cool.
So there are two prevailing, thoughts on what the name's going to be. I didn't pick up on this, but in the guy who does the lawn ornaments, supposedly his posts are leaning towards licorice. But then there was an actual leak of a screenshot.
It was Lollipop.
If you look at the top, the little debug icon is it's either a Lollipop Android or Game of Thrones Android that got its head chopped off and put on a pike.
I thought they should build off of butter and go with lard.
Lard.
God. It would just be a lump.
Because you've
Yummy.
eaten all of this candy and now. Did you see the commercials? I like on the Engadget article. It's like if you were watching The Walking Dead last night, which I was, but my copy didn't have commercials in it, so I didn't get to see these Android ads. But apparently they
That's
have
weird. What
this
channel were you watching when that happened?
It's IPTV. It's this new thing. It's called Internet Television.
Oh,
It's really cool.
that's neat.
They specialize in torrents.
We should podcast about that later. That's great.
We could, yeah, we could probably
Distributed
help
streaming.
a lot of people watch ad-free television instead of getting dumbed down by this onslaught of
You can
just
call Take Us to Court.
maybe. Oh, that'll be good.
Ugh, sorry, I interrupted.
I don't mean to wander off topic, but that would be a brilliant idea for a show. It was just called Take Us to Court, and each week we do something where, you know, it could
Something
possibly end
potentially illegal.
with us getting taken to court. I like it. Pitch that to our investors and see what they say.
Oh God.
But yeah, one of the ads, it showed several droid-looking characters checking their devices, as people tend to do, with the smallest pulling out a cartoonishly huge Android L smartphone. The others flaunted Android Wear and a tablet, while the "Be Together, Not the Same" tagline pointed viewers to a currently dead link. Naturally, that's led to speculation. Many think the device shown is the rumored Nexus 6. Ooh.
Yeah, it actually looks like South Park / Android. It looks kind of weird. Come on down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this like the actual? Is this the actual shot? Is that?
Yeah.
Is
Can you
that-
play that? Do we have the sound?
Oh, it's just the picture.
Oh.
That's good.
They're interesting. Like part of me cringes when I watch them, but you know, they're entertaining. You should go check them out.
Nice.
Lots of music from the '90s in there.
Very nice. That's yeah. Yeah. I like how it's like be together, not the same. It's choice. It's fragmentation, which is, from what I hear, something iOS users are dealing with just a little bit. Maybe
Whatever,
if
they
you
just
bought,
copied us. They copied our fragment.
I'm just saying, maybe you bought that big iPhone and maybe not all your apps are that size. Oh yeah, we didn't think of that.
Ugh.
You know who did think of that? Android developers that have been developing for 18 billion different screen sizes since day one.
That's innovation.
That's innovation.
Do you guys like the "Be Together, Not the Same"? I kind of do. I think the tagline actually works.
Yeah, I've not heard that specific tagline before, so that's innovative too. Yeah, no, but it's a little different.
Yeah. I mean,
No, you're sort of meh about it, Matt.
if you throw $50,000 into a tank full of 4 marketing jagoffs, like what do you expect to get out of it? I'm sorry, I don't care for marketing people very much. If you haven't noticed, the Bernesian parasite rolls deep with this one. I don't. It's fine. Ads are fine. Whatever.
You need a hug. Jesus Christ.
I'm fine.
Ah.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
holy
tablet-
shit.
My Tab 3 just got updated to 4.4.2, so that's cool. With the rest of the world. What, Eric?
Sorry, my podcasting was literally interrupted by Java popping up and saying, "Do you want to allow Java Auto Updater to run on your computer?"
I heard you were talking a little smack about me and my friend McAfee here.
Ellison, he's peacing out pretty soon. But he was just like, you know what? Before I go to my private island, I'm gonna fuck with that kid from Attack the Androids.
Watch this. Would you like Java to crash your setup right now?
I
Yeah,
actually
oh,
thought
yes.
that my computer was crashing.
It just did that stutter where you're like, oh, here comes the blue screen in 3, 2. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's keep talking about leaks, I guess, because you put a bunch of them in our rundown. The Droid Turbo. Those of us on Verizon maybe looking at this little.
This is a bit of this is a bit of an exciting phone because it essentially has the best specs you could possibly expect out of a smartphone today. Not like a few months ago, something that's pretty decent from back then, but like the highest end specs of any smartphone essentially coming out today. Like this Droid Turbo that's apparently going to be announced at the end of the month by Verizon. You know, it's made by Motorola, but it's almost identical to the Galaxy Note 4 in terms of all the specifications, but it's got a smaller Quad HD screen, 5.2 inches instead of 5.9, so it's even a higher pixel density. It's like 551 pixels per inch, which is just crazy. It's the same as with the LG G3. But everything else is like stellar. So, you know, if you're on Verizon and you're interested in upgrading, or maybe your contract is getting up close, this is like the most high-end phone that Verizon is going to have, up to and including the Galaxy Note 4 at the end of the month. So it's just crazy, and it looks really good too, and it's not like a huge phablet. So just wanted
Moto X, but now I want this.
Yeah,
only
it looks
because
really good.
32 gig, and the new Moto X on Verizon is only gonna be 16. So sorry, and it has a look at the camera, 21. I mean, assuming they have good capture, good what's it called? That thing that does
megapixels.
Yeah, no, the thing that captures the light.
The sensor.
Good sensor. Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, no, this is beautiful. I mean, as far as things that are smartphones, like, it's a pretty phone for sure.
And apparently a huge battery too, like 3,900
RAM with possible 64-bit access.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You think this thing looks pretty? I think it looks ugly as hell.
Really? I think
it looks great. So that's just me.
Right, that was mean.
That is rude. No, it's like all the Kevlar. It looks like the old droids. It doesn't look as sleek and.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like a big Moto X. I don't know. The back of it looks like it.
Well,
it just has that stupid little button thingy on it.
Oh yeah.
Is the button on this one too?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, the specs look cool. I just wish that the phone looked better.
I don't know. I personally like it. I had an Atrix 2, and I like the Kevlar back on that. But this is actually a little bit more streamlined, obviously, because it's larger. But I personally like it. So.
And you know what? It says with Zap with voice, you can capture a screenshot of your phone by saying, "Okay, Droid Turbo, zap my screen."
That's facepalm worthy.
And then when you say that, your phone explodes because you don't deserve to have a phone. Oh dear.
I would never say that.
October 28th. Possibly know when it's going to be. How much?
Lots.
Lots. 3,900 milliamp battery with wireless charging.
Dear God.
Water repellent. How about that? This is kind of. I mean, it looks like it would last a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, the Droid line. You know, like a lot of these carriers, they like to have their own little exclusives. You know, they may have like the same kind of phone, but they'll just put a name on it. And with the Droid line, they've kind of had their own custom phone made for them by like HTC or Motorola or whatever. So they get to say, okay, I want these things in a phone, make it, and so the OEM makes it for them, and it's the Verizon's branded smartphone. In this case, it's like Verizon said, I want all the check boxes, make it.
Yeah, right.
So that's what it looks like.
Okay, but only if you don't put all your crap on there.
Unfortunately, that won't happen, but because it's Verizon. But still, it looks like it has potential. So, and who knows? Maybe they'll offer a pure version or whatever you can download. You can buy off Motorola directly if you're one of those that wants to purchase a high-end smartphone.
And a turbocharger, which will give your phone 8 hours of charge in 15 minutes. Defy the laws of physics, you guys. Seriously, you guys.
That is cool. Anybody that's ever been in an airport and you know you have like a little bitty
20
time,
minutes.
you know, to get your phone charged for the next flight or for the drive home, like I love the whole idea of the turbocharger. And the only phones that have it, I think, are this phone and the Moto X 2014 edition.
Why? I'm curious. When this kind of stuff leaks, like you always hear that it's like it was a picture on this landing page and then it was quickly deleted. Like that happens every time. Like I feel like they do that on purpose.
They're not leaks. Yeah, they're marketing.
Bomb it
tactics.
10 minutes or an hour or whatever, and people like hammer that refresh button, right? And they wait and they're like, oh snap, there's a picture, get it. Okay, Droid Turbo, take a screenshot, quick. And then it's gone.
Yeah, it's these companies doing it, and like Google probably leaked the those commercials.
I don't understand the point of the stupid game then. Why don't you just send the pictures to people and then we're all
because
adults.
press releases come out all the time.
But
They're
press
not exciting. When people think that they're seeing something they're not supposed to see, that's when it's exciting.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, if it's not an unintentional leak, they have to have an intentional leak. So it's one or the other. You pretty much have your choice.
We should leak this episode
And never
like a day early.
but just leak it?
Yeah, just leak it and be like, guys, we really didn't want you to listen to this. There's too much awesome. Your brain might explode. It might melt in between your earbuds.
This, but we don't like to delete stuff, so we're gonna store it here on this web server so that all of us can access it. But you can't listen to it. Don't listen to it.
Don't you access it?
I'll blacklist your IP if I see you listening to it.
We're going to talk about a bunch of illegal stuff we may or may not do. We'll kind of hint at it. That's why we can't publish it. So don't tell anyone. Don't spread this link here that I'm posting here to everyone.
Right. So if you're into illegal stuff and phones you can't have yet, check out Take Me to Court. What's it called? Take Us to Court.
Take Us to Court.
Attack of the Lawyers.
This is a great idea.
I love that idea. We have. Oh man, I'm ready to just do that.
I'll be honest. I would want like protections. I don't want to really go to court.
Can we get some sort of immunity?
Yes, we need a hall pass.
A hall pass.
Episode.
I like that. I like that a lot. What else? The Oppo N3 not as ugly as you said it was previous. So what? It got a makeover.
Well, remember a few episodes ago it was like the circular, it's like a cylinder with a swiveling camera, and it looked gross. It looked like the famous wallpaper.
Is that this? Is this gross?
I don't think the new one is. I think the one that we're seeing now looks very thin, sleek. Like I think it looks good.
And if you live in Singapore, you can get it October 29th.
That's right. If you live in Singapore.
One more step. Designed for life. This phone is designed for life. We basically took the movie Her and we jammed it into a phone.
Well, you guys should be all gaga over this crap because it's got
I want the
a lot of the same innards.
This will never come on Verizon, Eric. This does not interest me.
Okay.
And as you know, only people that are on Verizon listen to this show. So then
most things will never come to Verizon.
Therefore, it clearly does not interest them. So let's talk more about the Droid Turbo.
Fair enough.
Do you want to disclose now or later that they pay us for that?
No, let them take us to court to prove it.
On the next episode of Take Us to Court. No, nobody pays us. Don't be fooled. Nobody
Look
pays
at that.
us.
Does it look like he's getting paid?
It looks like this guy's getting paid. Clearly not.
Well, it's weird that they skipped. So they went from the N1 to the N3. So that's weird. And it's also interesting this new version will also be running CyanogenModOS. So it looks like they're continuing on with the trend of of working with that team. Though I have to say, like, you know, the updates have really slowed down. It looks like all of the effort's been going towards the OnePlus One.
Which is ironic because I think less people have that phone than pretty much any of the other Oppo phones. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, I think it looks nice. What do you think, Nick? Do you think that this design is nice, or do you think it looks dumb?
From what it looked, yeah, it looks fine. I like the look. I didn't see the original designs, so I can't compare it to what was there before. But I think it looks fine.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to send you a picture of the one that we saw the other week.
Well, before and after.
Yeah, it is just, it's horrendous.
Before the diet, after the diet, got it.
Yeah, so it's in the chat for you.
Got it.
And it just goes to show you, don't believe everything.
Oh, wow, yeah. Ooh. It's got a big unit.
Yeah, a little swivelly. Looks like it has speakers on the side of the swivel.
Yeah.
It's no bueno.
Yeah, I'm glad they fixed that. It did have a nose job.
Let's see here. There were other phones.
I remember that one. Okay. So they figured it out. That's good.
Yeah, this one looks like very iPhone-esque. Like iPhone 4.
Not too bad.
Well,
yeah, I'd put a couple links in there regarding a couple of phones that have been announced in the last week. There was one from HTC. I'm from Texas. I have a hard time pronouncing words sometimes. But
HTC, go on.
HTC.
You guys got your HTC. Here's what it looked like before, if you were wondering. I know it was terrible for us to all just ooh and ah and then not show you the picture. So here's
the Oppo fugly phone.
That's the ugly, right? That's the before.
Yeah,
okay.
that's pretty tragic.
And then where's the after? I don't know where the after went. Oh wait, here's the after. This is riveting, I know. Here.
Wow.
Before and
for our audio listeners.
Wait for it. And after.
That looks pretty good. I like the look of that.
Much better after. Okay. Moving on.
So we were talking about the HTC phone, which is all well and good, Nick. But what about the periscope-looking camera?
Yeah,
what the hell is that?
The inhaler.
Whoa! Yeah. It's the Re.
Yeah, it's HTC's like GoPro competitor, which it's kind of weird. That's the last thing I would have expected HTC to try to dive into, but there it is.
I see what you did there. Are you put that on stuff? Is it magnet? Is it magnet?
It's waterproof, and there's some peripherals for it. You can use it just like a GoPro. There's like a band you can put in your arm. But
you know what it really looks like, and what you could use it for.
Stop.
I'm just saying, but that's interesting.
This is the first that I had heard that this is like their GoPro competitor. I thought they were just trying to look stupid. I actually thought it was a joke at first.
Boldly going where no camera has gone before.
Well, some cameras have gone there.
Well,
Thank
sure.
you, Internet.
They should have named that thing the Desire Eye, and then named the phone the Re. I don't know.
The Redesire.
There you go. You should hire us. I mean, like just us.
How do you get pictures off of this thing?
There's a button at the back of it, so you're holding it like an inhaler, and you just push the little button.
You inhale your images, and then you exhale them into your phone.
Pretty much.
Oh, geez. Here, I'm going to post a link. I got another link in the chat. There's what is it? Android Central has like a whole gallery of this whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah. This does not look good.
Yeah, the thing is, well, besides its looks, the thing is the name, the Re, doesn't really say anything about it. When you hear GoPro, that could be a few things, but
GoPro.
But at least you can relate to it. It's got a better marketing campaign, so
It's like you replied to an email that never had a subject line.
That's right. Yeah, what is it a reply to exactly?
The Re. It's the reply. It's the Re GoPro, right? They should have just named it Re GoPro.
There you go, bro.
Re GoPro, bro. Re-
I just don't understand. Like I don't get why they thought.
It's the shape of a dong. It's 16 megapixel Sony DSC sensor with 146 degrees of field of view. That also tethers to Android or iOS phones, or it can just shoot on its own. Did I say dong? I meant dongle. Sorry.
But it's $200 for this dong.
Whoa, whoa, is it?
Yeah. I could live with $99.
Bro, how much is
What? What, bro?
how much
Bro.
How much is GoPro?
I don't know.
200?
Does it look like I'm hiking up mountains?
No, but you.
Does it look like I'm diving with sharks? I don't know how much a GoPro is.
Google?
There's a couple versions of the GoPro, but I don't know how much either of them cost.
Are they both under $200? Now I'm curious.
$399 for the GoPro Hero 4.
GoPro, bro. $199 for the 3 white edition.
Oh, you on
So
Amazon?
on par with last year's crappy GoPro, bro, with better optics, right? This is better optics than what a GoPro has in it, because GoPro's never been known for.
You look like a retarded unicorn with this thing strapped to your head.
You know who you
You're
look
not gonna
like.
be able to die with it.
Orgasmo. You look like one of the characters from the movie Orgasmo. Anyway.
Well, this is just quite possibly one of the weirdest things in tech that I've seen come
Are you
out.
excited for the HTC Zoe app? The Zoe app?
No, what does it do?
Pictures?
It exits beta and turns 1.0, bringing with it some new features, an updated design, and new friend-finding capabilities. You can actually give it all of your address books, and it'll find your friends for you. I have no idea.
Seth was talking about this like last year when he got his HTC phone, the Zoes. I don't get them. Yeah, he did.
Right? They're just little video snapshot snippets, audio.
Is it like Vine?
Snapshots, but longer than 6 seconds, right? But don't you need HTC to do it? Except now you can get the app, right?
But I think don't you still need? Well, maybe not.
I'm gonna start only shooting in Zoes. With my
here I'm gonna hit install.
My Zoe GoPro, bro. This is stupid. What else?
Yep. Only works with HTC, methinks.
The Zoe app?
Yeah, I just went to the thing and it says this app is incompatible.
Yes, I'm gonna get it on my Moto X. You watch.
Do it.
I'm doing it right now.
I do. You know what? Why don't you just sit back and visit the little link in the chat
Zoe.
and then hit install and watch it not.
Actually, it's not even finding it.
That's right, bro. It's
There's
not there.
Yeah, incompatible.
Word Zoe.
I had heard that the Zoe app was going to be released, I think, mainstream, like to everyone. At least that's what I thought I heard last week. I could be wrong. I'll look into that. But that may soon not become an HTC exclusive. I'll look right now.
You look into that, Nick. Look into it.
Let's collectively look into it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what else? Anything else exciting in the Android news world? Big Super SU update. Support for Android L and TV.
And this is big because if you remember back when L was first released, there were a lot of like doomsday articles of root is going away and it will never work again, which may have been true. Maybe this is probably the end result of a lot of hard work. And we love you, Chainfire, moi moi. But it's released and it looks like we're still going to have root access on Android L. No. The
Nice.
other thing, Android TV, that sort of came and went, didn't it? Like they released that like beta box at Google I/O, and then we really haven't seen any like Android TV stuff come out. It's as much vaporware as the like Android Auto
Yeah.
stuff that we saw.
Yeah. Incidentally, I just found the link where they had talked 6 days ago about releasing it to all. Now, apparently some people have had success downloading and installing the app, and others not so much. So we're not alone in that it's not working. But it's supposed to be released, apparently, to everyone else at some point. So
The fact that you followed through on your pledge to research this Zoe thing makes me both sad and proud, Nick.
because it's so important.
Both sad and both sad and proud. No, that's good. Nick, did you throw in the article about the Xperia Z3?
Yes. So Sony announced their Z3 phone for two carriers, Verizon as well as T-Mobile. The T-Mobile variant is just the Z3, and it's basically the international version with all the bands. It's even got support for a relatively new band on T-Mobile. It's not out yet, like Band 15 or something, but it's going to be something that is already available on this phone. But the version for Verizon is actually the Z3V, which looks more like the Z2, but it's a little larger, has a little bit larger battery, has wireless charging, and anyways, that's the Z3V. But they both got announced, and they're going to be, you can, I think, start pre-ordering either now or very soon, and by the end of the month, they'll be released for both of those carriers. But it's Sony's big flagship finally on a big carrier finally, and actually two of the big four here. So and that's kind of cool.
What kind of specs are we looking at with these bad boys?
It's like a 2.5 gigahertz Snapdragon 801. I think it's about the same as the Nexus 5, but just but faster. 16 or 32 gig variants, and I can't remember the rest. But it's very comparable. I think it's even 3 gigs of RAM. But it's pretty nice. It's waterproof. It's got front-facing stereo speakers. They're getting some fairly decent reviews. At least the Z3 is the international version. I haven't seen any reviews yet on the Z3V, but it looks like that has a fair bit of potential for Verizon at least. So. Anyways, but they're out. They just got announced a few days ago, and to me, my opinion is I think it's about time that Sony gets these kind of phones, because like here in the States, HTC is a much bigger seller than Sony phones, and that's kind of weird considering Sony is a much larger company as a whole, and they've been in smartphones, you know, a fair bit, at least internationally. So, anyways.
Even internationally, though, I don't see a lot of Sony phones. I don't think that they've captured that market at all.
They've mostly been in Europe, and they haven't been even big in Europe. But that's the thing. If they can at least start getting onto the bigger carriers, particularly in the United States, that'll help boost their image, because a lot of the media out there are either in Europe or the United States, and to a lesser degree the other companies. So they can't just be in Europe and on like a couple big carriers out there. They got to be in all the carriers. So I would expect we'll see Sprint and AT&T versions of at least the Z3. And honestly, what I'd like to see is the Z3 Compact out on all four of these carriers, because it has all the same specifications, but in a chassis that's the size of the Moto X, the original Moto X. So that'd be nice to see.
One thing I'm looking at that I'm not necessarily fond of is it looks plasticky.
Well,
like, if this were made of metal, like I would think, oh, this is a sexy phone.
So,
I want it.
So what they did with the Z2, I can't remember the Z1, but I know the Z2 in particular had a metal frame around it, and of course glass on front and back, like the Nexus 6 and the iPhone 4. But the key with the Z3V or the Z3 is that they made it plastic instead of metal to cut down on the weight. Is my understanding, but it's still glass on the front and back. It's mostly premium in that respect. But yeah, the four slim corners they're plastic instead of metal.
Yeah.
The Z3V.
I can't help thinking that was a mistake.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. but now you have all these bend gate issues. I guess metal, has its own downsides. But the interesting thing about the whole bend gate thing is you look at any of these phones with glass on the front and the back. That's an even worse kind of thing.
Why are you bending your phones? Like, have you never held a computer before? Like, I bet my laptop bends but I'm not an idiot, and I know that if I do that, it'll break it.
Yeah, these are all consumer electronic devices, and they all have their different tolerances and the strengths and weaknesses. You can get a metal.
Hey, dude, you go to the grocery store and drop a crate of eggs, and they break, and you can be like, "What the hell? These eggs broke when I dropped them. What the f? That's bull."
Blame the chickens. You made all these eggs.
You guys make crappy eggs.
That's
I
right.
want eggs that I can drop, and I want a phone that'll stop a bullet when it's in my pocket. Because I've been watching Peaky Blinders on Netflix. Have you watched that stuff? Oh man. Netflix original series have been killing it. Except for Hemlock Grove, like they've all been pretty good. Anyway. All right, is that it? I think that's it. Very informative. Very, very good to chat with you all again. Eric.
It's a pleasure. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Email address, Eric.
Our email address is show@attackoftheandroids.com.
Nice. You should do some voiceover work.
I tried. There's not money in it.
There's no money in it. All right, attackoftheandroids.com. That's our site. Hang out with us on Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter throughout the week. And we do shows usually every Tuesday. So there's that. And we're on Stitcher. So there's also that. So thanks and we'll catch you all next week. Good night.
Bye.